gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, people within the sound of my ear, friends, countrymen, Romans, people with their heart beating, people with smiles on their face, people that are sad, whoever you are, welcome to the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. I am the Midnight Rider. These two guys, the gentleman Jack and the big guy KG, are joining me on this mission today as we go around the sports world on this Friday Eve. And now on the Friday Eve show, we do a little thing where we get a little hype. We talk about something, because what happens is the next day when it's actually Friday, people will go to work and they'll be at the coffee machine. Dude will be eating the day-old donuts. Shoot, they even said that, after they canonized the Pope, before the white smokes came up, he said 3 words. He said, Thursday night throwdown, allegedly. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thursday Night Throwdown. We are the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. We are here to entertain you. We're going to talk about a little bit of NFL, a Little League World Series, some NBA. I said deals. And then we got a little baseball news to close it out from the MLB side. But that being said, again, that's the gentleman Jack. I'm Midnight Rider. He's the big guy KG. And the big guy KG is kind of a big thing around here. He's the host of the show. So I'm going to pass it on to him and let him do his thing.
Well, I'm kind of a big thing. No. I am what you call Himothy. That's what you can refer to me as from now. I am him. Himothy, all of that. But welcome to the Thursday Night Throwdown, presented to you by the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. The gentleman Jack, the Midnight Rider. First and foremost, gentlemen, how are y'all feeling?
I'm feeling nice. I'm doing well. Got this Friday Eve. Looking forward to a chill weekend. So let's do this.
We got something in the background. I don't know if it's a TV or something. I'm good, man. I'm ready to go. This is what I look forward to all day. I look forward to spending the next hour and a half talking sports and being rambunctious with my 2 favorite guys, or 2 of my favorite guys on the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network, baby.
Well, that's good to hear because, look, everybody loaded up. Anthony checking in. He says, yo.
Anthony was in like at 7:15, though.
Yeah. And rearing up and ready to go. Coach Jackson in there. He's him. Yes. Himothy. That's what you say. Himothy. And we got a question. Quiz, what space movie came out in 1992?
Is that Space Jam?
No, Space Jam was 96.
Landlocked. Ain't no space movie.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, he talking about sci-fi? Because I'm not a big sci-fi guy.
So we'll have to check that out. But
like I say, I'm down with you. Yeah, I said Space Jam.
No, Space Jam 96. Matty Ice checking in. What up, guys? What's happening, Matty Ice? Hey, I got a question for you, Matty. You playing NHL this year? Because we need to get everybody on NHL. Let's do an NHL season. Oh man, I would love that. But I haven't played NHL in so many years, and then I don't even play the game like I normally do. So, jumping right into this, we're gonna start off with some NFL. Brian Flores versus the NFL has been settled. Where's it? The NFL can't force Brian Flores' racial bias claims into arbitration. A federal appeals court ruled today. Flores, the former Miami Dolphins head coach, sued the league in 2022, alleging systemic discrimination against black candidates for top coaching and management jobs. The court said the NFL's arbitration process, led by Commissioner Roger Goodell, is plainly unenforceable due to its lack of impartiality. What are you gentlemen's thoughts on that?
Well, there's layers to this because the NFL has taken a capital AW this week in the court court of law. This is their second case that they're losing. The problem they're going to have is they keep trying to put stuff in arbitration so they can control the narrative and keep and limit what comes out in these cases. And both of these cases has some very inflammatory language in it from the owners and maybe some things from the league that they're trying to hide. And with that being said, they've got to they're trying to put themselves in a position to keep this under the rug. Unfortunately, I think the court of law is not going to allow them to do that. And some of this stuff is going to start coming out, and they're going to struggle with. I think they're going to take a big PR hit. Some people are going to be upset until Sunday comes and games get played.
Gentleman Jack?
Yeah, no, when it come down to talking court settlements and the figures on the game, Midnight Rider's my guy. I stopped talking about court dates and shit back in '92. So yeah. Court settlements, court dates, they're too close together, man. I get the EBGB. So I agree with Midnight Rider. Yep.
Well, I mean, it seems to be, and I don't want to take it there, but I'm going to take it there. It seems to be that the NFL always kind of keeps these things hush-hush when it comes to these lawsuits, especially when somebody's claiming systemic discrimination and things of the such. And it's a unwritten rule that everybody knows about now in the NFL about who to hire, when to hire, how to hire. The Rooney Rule was established to stop a lot of this. But now it's one thing to have the Rooney Rule in place, but I think that needs to be revised. And you won't have lawsuits like this, but it needs to be revised to the point that it's enforceable. Because now if you got the Rooney Rule, and let's say Midnight Rider, you sitting on the Colts staff, you're the special teams coach, they can just bring you in and interview you with no thoughts of hiring you, but we satisfied the Rooney Rule, so we good. We can hire who we want. We can interview who we want, but you got to interview that one minority candidate, and you'll interview somebody. You interview the water boy to say, well, he was a candidate for a head coaching job, but it didn't work out. But this is no surprise. But I've said this once, I'll say it again. The NFL has been a overflowing cesspool under Roger Goodell. We didn't have these problems under Paul Tagliabue. I'm just saying.
Well, I always thought that Rooney Rule was stupid. I mean, why? You gotta bring in a minority or a coach of color is the way it originated. I think that's bullcrap because why invite someone that's not even got any scraps at the table? I think the Rooney Rule is stupid. My bad to cut you off on that. I just wanted to. Never liked it.
I think the problem is the rule. They've taken liberties with the rule. Just like as you said, just to interview anybody, just to satiate the rule and then go on and do what they want to do. I think the biggest problem, I think KG has a big case of the amnesia. He said this didn't happen under Tagliabue. This definitely happened under Tagliabue, and it just kept going. This has happened since the league has been conceived, where you hire the brother of your best friend's cousin, or he marries your daughter, and then if you look at the family ties in the NFL, like I can guarantee there's at least 15 coaches that are married to a coach's daughter.
Oh yeah,
it's just ridiculous. It's one big trough, and everybody feeds from the same trough.
Now that's true. I was being facetious when I said that because I wanted a reaction out of you. So I was being funny. I wanted a reaction out of you because I always talk about Paul Tagliabue. This wouldn't happen under Tagliabue and Gene Upshaw. We wouldn't have work stoppages. We didn't have these type of things. They had a working relationship, and I love the reaction I get from you. So that's why I do it. But
and I remember the rumor is that They used to say that they had a bowl underneath Technically Blue's desk with Gene Upshaw's name on it, but I'm not going to go there.
But I'll say this. This right here is nothing new, like you said. And to know that some assistant coaches get looked over, and it's been happening for years. And a story that always sticks out to me is how great of a coach, a head coach, Bill Walsh turned out to be. But you got to remember, he was blacklisted early in his career when he left Cleveland. He couldn't get an interview. Everybody was like hands off because Paul Brown told him no. You still have coaches that do that will blacklist an assistant, whether he's black, white, Asian, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. He'll blacklist him. And that's not fair to anybody. Maddie said, like a fantasy. No, I'm talking about EA Sports, NHL 26. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the video game.
I don't think Maddie's
J-Dub said, what up, fellas? Coach Jackson said, are you guys aware of the Gruden lawsuit? Yeah, we talked about that. What was that, last week when that broke?
I thought
was that Tuesday?
It was Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, you guys talked about that. And the thoughts on that is...
Who talked about that?
You guys.
Who?
You guys.
Dynamic duo.
There you go.
I'm sorry. The B team talked about it. So
I thought WrestleMania talked about it.
No, but you guys covered that.
Ask somebody. Yeah,
I just wanted to say something. Where do we go from here? That's what I wanted to ask you guys Tuesday. Where do we go from here? Okay, he won the case. Where do you huh? What am I saying?
So we go. The next step is the Gruden stuff goes to because the NFL is going to still fight this because they still have the ability to keep a lot of the testimony and the other stuff under wraps. So they're going to push this, and if they have to, they'll push it to the Supreme Court. Now, when it gets to the Supreme Court, due to the way the Supreme Court is set up, more than likely the NFL will win or get a favorable ruling on their side because of the nature of the Supreme Court and it's the way it's made up.
Maddie said, I think if the general public was aware of all the dirty deeds that goes on behind the scenes, the game would not be as popular as it is. You know what? I agree with that, Maddie, because behind closed doors, everybody was talking about what came out in those emails with between Gruden and Bruce Allen. And I said it from the get-go. Ain't nobody leaked those emails like that. That was Daniel Snyder trying to get the heat off of him. I swear.
Yeah.
I swear.
You know, if you was on the show with the Dynamic Duo, you would have heard this guy, the Midnight Rider, say that Gruden was shrapnel from Daniel Snyder trying to go after Bruce Allen.
You know what? I think I did catch that. I think I did catch that because I was drooling, falling asleep because I mean these guys. No, I'm serious.
I mean you had to catch it, man, because you can't miss it. We everywhere, baby.
For those that don't understand, it's just a lot of inside jokes going on here. But this right here, I love it because I love competition and I love it. I love it. And these two gentlemen sitting right here, the way we push each other, the way this whole group pushes each other, I love it. But since y'all the dynamic duo, what are y'all like? Bateman and Roban?
No. Gentlemen in Midnight Ride. Oh, that's nice.
All jokes aside, if we actually pulled the curtain back on the NFL, the NBA, because the way the NBA is run, I really don't like that either. Like Adam Silver's decent. I think he has to be the second best commissioner in the 4 major sports. But he has his times too where I got to give him the side eye because it's like, yeah, you really gonna let that go? You gonna let that slide? But it's crazy. And Coach Jackson, no need for apology. We here for the discussion, baby. You come for the comedy, but you stay for the discussion. You know, and that's what we're here for. But it's crazy. And Perry checking in, he said that's all sports, Maddie, and I believe that. Because if we pulled the curtain back on all 4 major sports, the things that you find out wouldn't be too pretty.
Can I just say something?
Yes, sir.
I think we all know what's going on to a degree.
Yes.
Because you know what the owners are. I mean, you saw this slip be revealed in the Kaepernick situation. You've seen it just by who they support and how you feel about some of the people they support and some of the views they have. So, I mean, we're not dealing with surprises. I think the funny thing to me is going to be the shock that people have that some of these things came out, and it's like you don't read the context clues. You don't see what's going on here. So that's how I see it.
And Perry says Silver's the best of the 4. I thought NHL commissioner was a little bit. No,
he's gaining momentum, but he's not.
He's not okay. All right, because I thought we had a conversation about commissioner. I thought he was ranked number 1, and then it was Silver. So you got Silver, the NHL commissioner. You'll put him. You wouldn't put the NHL commissioner over over Goodell. Okay, so you got Silver, Goodell, NHL commissioner. I'm sorry, I don't know his name, and I haven't typed it in yet.
Gary Bettman.
And then way down at like 9, 10, 12, 15, 75, you got Manfred. Gary Bettman is the NHL commissioner, correct?
Yeah, I just said that
yes.
to you.
Yes. Gary Bettman. Thank you.
Come on now, Leroy.
Thank you.
and the Manfred's down there below badminton somewhere.
Manfred's so far down, man. You got to get a backhoe to dig him up. That's how far down the list he is.
I don't know what y'all talking about, man. Manfred's my favorite commissioner.
Perry said the sausage grinder is grinding, no Diddy. And Gary Bettman is a weasel, is what Maddie said. Damn, I thought we had him ranked a little higher. Okay.
Maddie knows him. Knows the deal.
Browns draft pick. Quinshawn Judkins out of Ohio State avoids jail time. Midnight Rider, hit me off.
He basically, I think he took a plea, and then the plea came with him not having to go to jail at all. And the case was pretty much dismissed from what I've read. And if I read the wrong thing, because there's so many copycats out here, I apologize. But so basically, now the Browns probably sign him, and then have to wait to see what the league says in terms of punishment. Another person that's going to have a case coming up soon is Rashee Rice, the Kansas City wide receiver, for his speeding incident, his hit and run. He's another person. I think his meeting is either tomorrow or early next week. So they're going to start handing out their suspensions and everything and get these guys get it squared away. Get the punishments out.
Jack?
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. I forgot about Rashee Rice, but I think for Judkins, that's appropriate. I mean, don't let you have been in trouble before, but these guys got to learn. But it's going to happen with young guys when they get handed this kind of money. They're going to do something stupid. So let's just hope these young men learn from these things. Especially Judkins over there in Cleveland. It seems like it's a yearly event in Cleveland. Somebody gets locked up.
Well, this summer alone, Shedeur Sanders has got caught twice for going like 100 miles per hour. Myles Garrett got caught going over 100 in a 60 mile per hour zone. The Myles Garrett thing is his 7th incident with him speeding. I think there was an incident either last year or 2 years ago where he flipped his truck. So, one thing Cleveland will do is they will keep you entertained. Are you not entertained? You may not play good football, but yeah.
We wreck our shit and get locked up.
Yeah. And if you don't watch the sports junkies or listen to them in the morning, Ken Carman, 92.3 in Cleveland, they do a pretty good show. And I think it's also fun because, they got the same 30 years of struggling that we had. So misery loves company. So I love listening to their fans cry about Baker and how Baker should still be here. It's a beautiful thing. But that's another day.
Perry said, if you have Bettman ranked high, then I need your drug test results.
Jesus.
Now, this one right here is close to my heart. We got to say arrivederci to one Brandon Sheriff, picked by the Washington Redskins, 2015, 5th overall pick in the first round, played for the Skins / football team, never played for the Commanders. From 15 to 21, in those 6 seasons that he played in D.C., he was a 5-time Pro Bowl. The only year he missed the Pro Bowl was 2018. First team All-Pro in 2020. He was on the Pro Football Writers of America All-Rookie team in 15. In college, he won the Outland Trophy, unanimous All-American in 14, Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year in 14, and 2-time first team All-Big Ten 2013 and 2014. Arguably, his run with the Redskins / football team, he was one of the best guards. He was always rated very, very high at guard, where he was top 2 or 3 every season he played here at guard. Only problem that he had was the injuries. But out of 140 games he played, he started 140. And Brandon Sheriff's my guy. Him and Wes Schweitzer, those are my guys. And he's only 33, but there's no market for him right now. So he decided to hang the pads up. Start with the gentleman Jack. Brandon Sheriff, what you got?
I'm a big fan of the guy. Big fan of the guy. My 2 favorite linemen are probably Brandon Sheriff and Lachey. I used to like Lachey. That's back when we could move some people, man. But I don't see a problem with him stepping down at 33. Like I said before, when we had another younger retired player, you won't be able to walk and talk and all that when you're done with this game. And him being in the trenches where they're really banging heads, I think, what's he been, 12 years in the league?
Yes, something like that.
Yeah, so great career for him.
No, it's hot 10. Hot 10. 15 to 24.
Okay. He must have done 4 years of school or something.
There's somebody else that retired today. One of the running backs. One of them, he's always. I'm gonna try to find that before we get out of here, because he's one of those guys that he's in that like Miami, San Francisco realm of running backs. And I'll get to that. I see what you did here. You said I couldn't say goodbye because we don't say goodbye here.
We don't say goodbye.
And we don't. You said I fussed about the happy trails because I said we aren't PTI. So you came up with a arrivederci. I get it. When I think of Brandon Sheriff, the famous thing I always hear is we drafted a guard. We got a guard. It's a guard. So I mean, I think he's a solid lineman. Guard. And then the only problem for me was just that he was supposed to be a left tackle, ended up playing guard. I think they overpaid him on his last contract, and they really priced themselves out of the market by putting a franchise tag on him. This is another situation where this group just, that group, the Snyder group, just paid people. They just gave you money. It was just like, hey, how much you want? Like, it's almost like they slid the check across the thing. It was like, whatever you write down, we may or may not agree with it. And then they were like, oh, that's what we had in mind. Look at that. We're on the same page. And they just signed you to a deal. It's ridiculous. But, I mean, it was he had a good run. I thought that getting rid of him was the right thing. because I just don't value guards at that $18 million level. I think if they could have kept him in that 12 to 15 range, again, when you don't think ahead and sign somebody a little early, sometimes you end up in these situations. It's a little different from Terry, but that's just how I saw it with Sheriff.
And I like when you said that he came in as a tackle and he had to move inside the guard. That's the same thing with Cosby. Cosby came in as a tackle and had to move inside the guard. And I was like, well, if it worked with Sheriff, we can make it work with Cosby, which is one of the reasons why I love Cosby, because he plays better at guard. Some guys that were college tackles, you move them inside and they play way better. And they have long, prosperous careers. Everybody can't play tackle in the NFL. Just because you played it in high school, college, when you get to the NFL, different beast, especially that left tackle position. It's a different beast. And being able to be adaptive to move to the inside and play guard and have a career like this, not bad. Not bad at all. I hate to see him go because I think I said something during the free agency period when he wound up leaving Jacksonville and was looking for a contract. And I was like, I asked Midnight Rider, I said, kick the tires? Immediately he said no, but I just kicked the tires. Let's see what he still got. And he said, no, we're not doing it. No. So I respect that. A couple of comments real quick. Perry says speeding is entertainment value in Cleveland. Apparently, if everybody getting caught speeding. And Perry said, yo, MR, guess who's out for the rest of the preseason? Who's out for the rest of the preseason?
Oh, you know.
Come on, hit me up. Talk to me.
His initials are TNT. He's a backup quarterback for the Jets. He went to Virginia Tech. And somebody said there's one man he hurt. Yes, baby.
Terod.
Hey, Perry. I didn't want to bring it up. I was going to let it just sit out there. It's going to be the pink elephant in the room. Matt Breida.
J-Dub said Matt Breida talking retirement. And Anthony, I didn't forget about you. We're gonna get to that, and I'll get to your comment when we get to that. Just hold on to that. Just hold on to that. That's coming up. Before we get off NFL, take a little break. Let me say this. The NFL has gone back to its Inspire Change initiative. So the on-field messages are going to come back. I know some people are upset about it. I don't know why, but they're upset because the on-field messages are coming back. All of that jazz.
I forgot to mention this, but there's a nice little controversy brewing in Minnesota, where Minnesota has added 2 male cheerleaders to their cheer staff, and there are fans that are canceling their season tickets. There are people extremely upset about the situation and the going-ons of the Minnesota Vikings cheerleading team. That's all I wanted to add.
You see my face right now? You see my face?
I'm just saying.
When they, and let me get to this and I'll finish my thought. But when they changed the first ladies of football, the Redskinettes that we've had pretty much most of our lives, when they changed that to the dance team, I never said, well, you know what? I'm not gonna watch the Redskins anymore. I'm not gonna watch the Commanders anymore. I'm not gonna do cheerleading squads is not what I watched the game for. I watched the game to get hyped up about the play. This is not the first male cheerleaders that have been in the NFL. It's been plenty of male cheerleaders. Please stop. Get a life.
Just immature people, man. Immature people.
So I'm a Notre Dame fan. Notre Dame has male cheerleaders. Am I going to stop watching Notre Dame? No, I'm not. Anyway, oh my God. Please don't get me amped up like that again. But
dearly beloved, we're gathered here to talk sports is like the world.
They've gone back to the on-field messaging and everything like that. So one thing I didn't like was, I said this on the show before, I didn't like when Jay-Z took over the musical guest and he was like, all the music for the NFL. He was like, we got to move past kneeling, son. We got to do something different. But what do we do, Jay-Z? Tell us what we do. And then all of a sudden, you've seen everything that was built up from the protests and everything get stripped away. And Jay-Z never came up with anything. This is one thing to right or wrong, but words without action don't mean shit. So this is words without action to me. It's nice to see it back. What you going to do about it? What you going to do to change the stuff? So I'll leave you with that as we go take a break. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. This is the Thursday Night Throwdown. We are bringing you sports like we always do in the only way that we can. I am the Midnight Rider. He is the Gentleman Jack. And I'm about to turn this back over to the show's host, the big guy KG.
I like what you did there.
What I do?
See, this that DC Magic and that Maryland Magic working together. We like Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas in the backcourt. We just come on, man. Don't do that.
I heard you go.
Maddie said maybe another grind my gears on Monday about that subject. I think we talk about the cheerleaders. And Anthony said, I don't give a shit. I don't know why people get so uptight and have a stick up their asses for that shit, Midnight Ride. I agree.
I think, hold on, Tony had what, 4 shits in there?
Yeah.
Tony was a little upset.
Maddie said they've been male cheerleaders in college sports forever. It's just garbage that pisses me off. I don't understand why people getting upset about it.
Oh boy, yeah.
He said that last time I paid attention to the Knicks dance team was a Sex and the City episode with Blair Underwood. Who gives a? Hey, I'm with it. Now I'm gonna turn this thing over to Gentleman Jack because this is his thing. Jack, round 2 of the Little League World Series. What you got for me, man?
I tell you, man, they came out to play today and they brought the donuts, man. They've been 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a possibility to be 6 shutouts out of the first 8 games. And it's not for lack of hitting, it's for dominant pitching. There was 2 kids throwing today that when you put the equivalent of them throwing from 46 versus a pro mound, their 70-mile-an-hour fastball is equivalent to a 95-mile-an-hour fastball from the pros. So, I mean, kids were just defensively throwing their bats. And where I really saw that at was in the Japan game. Japan just blew Europe out, and that's the team from the Czech Republic. 12-0. They run-rolled them in the 4th. Japan was just hitting seeds all day. They're so fundamentally sound. Teams like Japan and Chinese Taipei, they're just so fundamentally sound. So I'm gonna go through the international scores. That's all I got because the only game I saw was a Japan game, and I didn't get no notes on it. So Japan beat Europe 12-0. Panama beat Australia 7-2. Puerto Rico got defeated by Latin America. That's a team from Venezuela, 5-0. And then Chinese Taipei Mexico. I'd be surprised. I didn't see the hit total. The box score wasn't complete. That game just finished, but the pitchers from Chinese Taipei were just hurling. And the coach was very strategic. He'd let one kid throw 36 pitches. And I'll tell you, I shit you not, he's got 36 pitches and 5 strikeouts. And then the coach, the manager comes out and relieves him. And you're like, he's rolling. It's only the second, say third inning, something like that. But he's allowed to pitch on 1-day rest. And no games are back-to-back. So they've been pretty smart with their pitching because that's usually what locks this down because all these kids can hit if it's regular pitching. Because there's a new rule this year. Well, not this year. It might have been incorporated now for the past couple years that everyone bats, but not everyone has to play the field. It used to be everyone bats and gets 3 to 6 outs in the field. So it's no longer that they have to do it. So you can play 9 kids in the field and have your other 3 players just be bombers. I don't care if they can catch a cold. You're going to get somebody that can hit the ball to be batting in that 10, 11, 12 spot. So that's what's helping a lot of these teams when they come with their bombers. So in the United States regions, the Southeast region, the team from South Carolina, very strong team. They one hit the New England team out of New Hampshire, 13-0. Joe Giolletti from the South Carolina team, he pitched 3 1/3 inning, one hit, 8 Ks, and then in the second inning he just blew up, hit a grand slam. So you gotta look for that boy Joe Giolletti. He's a hell of a shortstop and a pitcher and a hitter. He's the full package of this South Carolina team. So in the Mountain region, they defeated the Great Lakes Legion 16-1. Another bomber score. That Mountain team is the team from Las Vegas, Nevada. They had 18 hits in this game, and then in the top of the 6th, they just opened up an 11-run inning. And I don't know how many people have been through something like that, man, but that's a long time to be in the field. They sent 16 batters to the dish. It was just ugly. So Great Lakes, they was intimidated by this Mountain team so much that they walked the Mountains team. They walked their best player with the bases loaded. That's how much they feared that kid. So we'll go over to the Metro region and the Southeast region. This was probably the best game of the day. Pitch and duel all the way. The Metro held on to win this 1-0. Luca Pellegrini, he pitched the full game with 1 hit, one base on balls, and 11 Ks. Shane Grow was the pitcher for the Southeast. It ain't got nothing to hang his head at. I tell you, either team had a hit through 4, so it was a shutout. It was a no hitter both ways through 4. This game was pretty good. This is the teams from Connecticut, who are the Metro, and Texas, who are the Southeast. And then there's a game playing right now. We got the Midwest, South Dakota versus the Mid-Atlantic, Pennsylvania. And last I saw, South Dakota was up 2-0 in this game through 4. So a commercial break right now. A lot of shutouts. I'm really surprised by the shutouts, but I'm not surprised by the shutouts. I know that's a double, but if these coaches can manage their pitching right, the scores will stay low. But you got teams that are hitting the ball, like the team from South Carolina, the team from Nevada, and the Japanese team. Them kids are just 1 through 12 hit the ball really well. So it's going to be another great tournament in Williamsport, and I look forward to it. We got the MLB game is coming. What's the date on that? The MLB game. I had it. I don't know where I did with it, guys. The MLB game, I will get you some notes on that. They come and play to a special field that has been built on the grounds here in Williamsport for Major League game every year. It's so awesome how these Major League players sit and interact with the kids in Williamsport. I mean, they go up in the dorms. They play ping pong. They collect pins. They eat cotton candy. They sit in the bleachers. If you really want to see some fun with kids and big-time major leaguers, try to check out that Little League Classic is what they call it, the Little League Classic.
The MLB Little League Classic at historic Bowman Field is on Sunday, August 17th. It will feature the Seattle Mariners and the New York Mets. There's also a home run derby that will take place on Thursday, August 21st.
couple of questions from out in podcast land. Anthony says, who's doing the best, Gentleman Jack, on the U.S. side right now? I'm guessing it's either Texas, Hawaii, or Fargo, South Dakota.
South Dakota and South Carolina put up the best showing today. Hawaii was probably the strongest team in regionals. So, Hawaii didn't have many runs scored on them. And then, go over to the international, man. This Japan team, they're strong as hell. They won 4 games in 31 hours in the regionals. 4 games in a day and a half. I mean, that's some playing some ball. So, yeah, my answer to that is I think keep an eye on South Carolina, the Dakotas, and Hawaii. You spot on.
Anthony said, Gentleman Jack, do you think the story of the U.S. side is probably going to be Hawaii because of what's happening there, and probably going to be a setup to try to have them win the Little League World Series?
I hate the word setup.
Setup. I don't know what's going on. That's tough, but they are one of the stronger teams. I'd put them in the top 5 out of this 20. But there's so much talent here that sometimes you need a little luck too. You need the ball to bounce your way sometime too. But Hawaii is somebody to think about. I believe they play tomorrow. There's 4 games scheduled tomorrow, and then a full weekend of games, and the kids get some rest after that.
All right. Anthony said, for me, I think the 2 strongest team in the international side are Japan and Venezuela.
True that.
I thought Venezuela wasn't allowed over. Oh, that was one of the well, maybe I got the teams mixed up.
Maybe. Yeah, Venezuela is in the Latin American region. Yeah, they had a strong game today, but Panama had a good game too. And Australia, go again.
No, I was going to say they must have figured that situation out because I know at one point there was an issue with Venezuela coming over.
Right. That's straight. I like the questions. Everybody. Thank you.
So Jack, I know you'll keep us updated with that, because once it gets down to the nip and tuck, man, it's like exciting anyway. But it seemed like it's the Little League World Series is a little bit more exciting in the beginning stages than it has been in a few years.
It is. And like I say, I really think that's because it was such a strong regionals. And they covered regionals on TV this year. They usually don't cover till it's this time when they're in Williamsport. They were covering all over the country in regionals. So, that's why it's just getting so big. And it's exciting. These teams are just jam-packed with talent, man. So I've said it before. To coach any of these teams that are assembled for this would be a blessing.
I guess we can take another break, come back, talk some NBA. We got a few things to cover in NBA, and then, let's see where we go from there. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back from our break. It is, again, the Sideline Junkies, giving you what we give you the best. That is information all the time and all the information that we have. This is the Thursday Night Throwdown. Again, I am the Midnight Rider. He is the Gentleman Jack. And as I do every time we come back from a break, I give the no look. I give the hee. The big guy, KG, who's our host of the show.
Well, see, when you do that, I got to be B. Scott, so I got to put that thing down. I got to be Big Game James. I got to be something of the sort. Anthony got a question for you, Jack. He said, Jack, do you think that we're ever going to see a controversy like Danny Almonte again, or since the Little League got stricter, never going to happen again?
Man, overseas, man, they can counterfeit some stuff like nobody's business, man. So bringing in false documents. I mean, if that's what you want to do, the motto of Little League baseball is honesty, fair play. You know what I'm saying? It's if that's what you want to do. I think it was Yamada's parents. I think it was his family that did the false doing, not the manager or the team. But you don't know. They're reclassifying kids nowadays. Um, you never know if cheating's ever going to happen again, man. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say.
I think Al Davis said it best. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. So let's keep that in mind.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's Raider rule number 1. Raider rule number 2 is C rule number 1.
Right.
You know, turn our attention to the NBA. Michael Porter Jr. He made a statement, said that the betting impact is going to get worse. If I'm not mistaken, it was his brother.
Yes,
that got hit up for gambling in the NBA. Somebody said it on the podcast. I don't remember who it was. They said, you got to understand when you bet, and you tell somebody bet you're under, and you go out there and you fake an injury and you lag a little bit. You can get somebody life-changing money doing that a couple of nights a week or a couple times a season.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought about that. And it always brings me back to The Last Boy Scout. And granted, it was a movie, but Damon Wayans as Jimmy Dix, he was like, what do you think they got the injury report for? It's not for the fans, it's for the bettors.
Yep.
And I thought about that, and I said, I've never really been into lines and all of that, but over the last couple of years, I've really gotten into it, and I've seen what betting can do. So turn this over to you two gentlemen, because you are my betting experts. Do you think the betting impact is going to get worse?
Jack, you can go first.
After you, sir.
Okay. Well,
as I pull up my betting app, sure, I'll go first. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. I didn't think it would take long once all this legal gambling started establishing itself throughout the country. I didn't think it was going to take long to have sports scandals, sports problems, sports stories about gambling. I don't know, man. It's too easy now. It's too easy. It's just right here at the fingertips. I think it's going to be a continuing problem unless you just go ahead and say, let them do it. But I don't think that's ever going to happen throughout the many sports leagues that they're going to be allowed their players to gamble and bet on the sport they play. I wouldn't bet on the sport, to tell you the truth, because if you get it like that, then you got a bunch of shady son bitches. So how do you curb it? How do you curb it, Midnight Rider? How do you curb it?
I think you can't curb it because you got a bunch of idiots thinking they can always outsmart the system. That's the problem. These jokers think, oh, we good. We fooling them. And they don't understand that the geo mapping, they got a room. If anybody's ever seen Casino, they got like the room where you got the guys that used to try to cheat Vegas, keeping an eye on the cameras, telling you who's trying to cheat Vegas. And I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
People don't understand that they are trained to see the different the discrepancies in every minute thing. They've got like spreadsheets on top of spreadsheets, like, that's how they caught the kid. What was it? Not Class A, but Lopez for the Cleveland team. And they were like, oh, he was doing this. And they actually caught Class A because his first pitch several times was in the dirt 40 feet from the mound. It's like, dude, you're not outsmarting us. Like, you can't outsmart us. And that's the thing. I think everybody still thinks that they can get away with it, and that's the problem. Is you can't get you can't. You might get one or two, but the problem is just like in the movies, when you see the villain winning and he gets greedy and goes for that extra turn, and then all of a sudden it backfires on them, and that's what happened to these people, man. They get greedy, they go for that extra one because they think, oh, they won't get me, and then boom, that's when it explodes because they want to catch you red-handed, but they don't want to catch you off one. You know what I'm saying? Well, how LeBron them said, not one, not two, and not three. They trying to catch you with your hand all the way in the cookie jar.
Yes, sir.
So it's like, and then I get the player side of this because the players feel like fans don't come to the games to enjoy the game. Now they're coming to see if their parlay hits. And that's a whole different fan. Because now that fan is yelling, cussing at the TV, cussing at the game, watching because they were offered maybe a buyout earlier and they said, oh no, we're gonna let it ride. And then they look on the TV and they see the pitcher that's closing the game from last night give up a hit up the middle because he put his glove out instead of letting the second baseman take it and turn in two, and we go home with some money. But instead, the guy gets the ball hit off his glove, and then he gives up a crazy double later, give up 2 runs. Dodgers lose to the Angels. This is all hypothetical. This is all hypothetical, guys.
This is how you would do it, right? This is how you would do it.
This is just how things might happen. I know. I mean, it's crazy when you watch these because we had the incidents. You know, the incidents where the fans got into it with several players, Bradley Beal and a couple other guys, because they screwed up their parlay. And I think for Porter and them is, you know, it used to be like in NFL, it was the fantasy football and you didn't get your numbers this week. You hurt my fantasy team. But now we talking about players impacting your parlay. You know, you thinking, you know, if this dude get his 50 yards, you know what I'm saying? I'm taking the wife and kids to Sizzler. You know what I'm saying? We gonna Sizzler.
Now I'm gonna throw this at y'all because we've seen it happen. We've talked about it here, and we've talked about it even offline. When you get to the point that you're doing parlays on these games, and you got some ridiculous 9-leg parlay that you think gonna hit, and 8 of the legs hit, and that one that doesn't hit, you threatening people's family. Like, bro, you got an addiction. That's what that is. That's an addiction. And you got people that's putting in these parlays, or they're making bets, period, with the over-unders, don't know what the hell they're doing, and they're losing their livelihood, man. People are losing houses like this. But
on the other side,
huh?
I'm gonna say, but on the other side, sometimes that person that don't know Jack, like there's this girl in my neighborhood that came back and was like, yeah, she put a $10 bet on like 4 people to hit home runs, and everybody hit a home run that night. And she won like $5,000. And I was just like, yo, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just like the NCAA. That's why it's so addictive, because you think you can make this money or get this money that's going to change your life, or even pay a bill. And that's why. But the thing about it, the reason why it was able to grow is because all the companies, DraftKings, FanDuel, Bet USA, ESPN Bet, all these companies also made sure that before the states before they allowed these companies in, they made sure that they had some type of system in place where if a person said certain things in their complaints, that they would freeze your account. It's like one of my buddies, I guess he hit a bet and they didn't put the money right into his account in a timely manner. So he sent them a message, and in the details in the message, he was like, I was waiting for this money, blah, 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 blah. So because he used certain words, his account got flagged and they freezed it because basically the language that he used made it sound like he was depending on that money to get to his next situation. and they don't want people betting the money to if you're using it just because it's recreational, that's fine. But if you're betting the money,
right? But you're
you're putting your household at risk. That's something that they're trying to curb the language on. So you even got to watch that.
Yeah.
But before I get to the comments, let me ask you, gentlemen, this: what's the difference between picking up your phone and hitting Gambit or
Gambit's dead? Gambit's dead.
I don't gamble in such a way.
I feel like that's judgment.
No, it's not, because I don't know anything about it.
No,
now you want me to gamble? You want me to gamble? Take me to a casino and let me play blackjack, but they'll put me out because I'm so good at blackjack. It seems like I'm counting cards. Okay,
cheater.
No, I'm just my uncle taught me. He taught me when I was young how to play blackjack. He was like, and I'm really really good at it, but I don't have that itch to play like that because I'm like, I get mad if I lose $5. I done lost $5 and I ain't playing this shit no more. This shit rigged, and it could just be a bad hand. I ain't playing this shit no more.
Hey Jack, is there any action tonight?
A little bit. No WNBA though. Just MLB.
But now, okay,
I've been doing
FanDuel,
pretty good with that WNBA.
FanDuel, which is the unofficial partner of the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. That's where we get our lines from during football season. To go on FanDuel and be a player and bet on yourself to do something or not do something and then win the money. Like, I never understood why guys were in college point shaving. You got in with these bookies and now you point shaving and they going back looking at all your games. Blue chips for example. I never understood that.
But you go back further than that. There was the Boston College scandal that involved Sam Rothstein from Goodfellas. He was involved. The guys from that group was involved in that scandal at Boston College in the early 80s. But the problem is back then you had sports books. So the book didn't hold you to your account. So if you had to borrow or get in debt and make a bet, they would let you do it. The whole key and the whole point of the FanDuel systems and the systems that they allowed or the states allowed is they limit what you can do based on what's in your account. Like you can't go in the negative and say, oh, FanDuel spot me 10 on this bet. It doesn't happen. You can't do that. And that's another one of their safety precautions is they try to limit what you spend. They even got things where they'll track your spending and they'll send you an email like if you're doing more than you normally do. So that's why I don't understand why these cats think they can get away with stuff. Is this thing right? Situated so they can reach out to you and be like, hey, your spending is abnormal for what you normally do. So if they can do that, you mean to tell me they can't pick up on Jermichael Porter or whatever his name is getting out of games early? That's why they had the Terry Rozier situation.
And speaking of which,
go ahead.
That right there. I just want to throw that up there while you was talking.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a situation where I think these guys don't know what the world they're in. The gambling world is bigger than anything out there. There's reasons why people go to
always has been.
There's a reason why people go to a desert. Mm-hmm. And the only thing in that desert is those buildings.
Oh.
That's it. You go 10 miles that way, 10 miles that way, it's all sand. There's a lot of bodies.
Yeah. Couple of comments real quick. Scary Terry Rozier from the Heat is involved in a scandal too in the NBA. I think this is good. Continue to get worse because sports betting is allowed now. And
don't blame the gambling and the betting. The problem is people think they can get over.
Anthony says, isn't that what happened to Pete Rose? He got caught betting on his own team, and that's why he got fired from the Reds and banned from the Hall of Fame for life. Banned for life and from the Hall of Fame until recently.
Yes.
And this is the thing. Before Pete Rose passed, they had him at a game, and I think it was one of the first sports books to open in a major league stadium, and he was there to open it. But once that became a thing, and I said this right here on this very show, and I believe the gentleman Jack actually agreed with me. Once you made betting legal in baseball, when you got sports books in the stadium, his ban should have been lifted. And immediately he should have been put in the Hall of Fame because his ban had been lifted. The game has changed. Life has changed. We can go 2 games and bet on the game that we're watching and any other game that's going on around the country. Like, this is not a forbidden thing anymore. Like, bro, what are we doing? But you banned this dude for life.
You remember who's the worst commissioner in sports, right?
As of right now, all time.
Well, he might. I mean, for me, he might be all time.
Rob Manfred.
Okay. So
I believe the saying goes, he doesn't know if he's scratching his clock or winding his ass.
Damn, who said that? Gotta give that person credit. That's a dope line. I don't even know how to come back after that. Let's go to the next one. That person stole my thunder.
It's something when somebody was confused and didn't know what they was doing. Something my cousin used to say, and I used to always die laughing at that. Man, it was absolutely funny. Maddie said, "Only way to solve that is to go back to betting on the game and not parlays. But the gambling books will never let that happen."
Whoa, you know what, Maddie? Whoa, Maddie, I feel a little attacked. What do you mean we can't do parlays? Look, that's where the money is, Matt. That's where the money is, baby.
That is. If you ain't playing parlays, you a sucker.
Or you got the patience of Joe, because there are some guys that will bet 1 or 2 games here and there, and they'll build their stack up. But yeah, dog.
Yeah,
I'm more on the irresponsible side where I got like 7. Like I felt judged in case you said something about the guy with the 9-leg parlay. Felt
but
like
hold on. I'm talking about the guy with the 9-leg parlay. But 7 out of the 9 legs are doable, but the last 2 legs are impossible. But one of them actually happened. When you make parlays like that, and if you made a 9-leg parlay, yours are feasible. You think about yours before you do. You don't impulse buy.
I won't believe it. There's a couple times. I know. There's a couple times. see, you gotta remember. Since we talked about the Raiders, I got a little baby Daryl or Monica in my system. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we like to just go yard and take it 60. So every now and then there might be a little ridiculous in there. You gotta remember, you're talking to a guy that will bet South Korean baseball unders any given day.
That is true.
Yeah.
I can verify that. And
then what's the other joint? Nah, Jack, because we did. Was it you or was somebody else that put me on the darts? And I made like a 14-leg dart.
I'm doing tennis right now. I do tennis every once in a while.
Oh my goodness, Jack makes
and WNBA. Yeah, we are.
Maddie said I'm talking about like bets on first pitch and individual stat parlays. Yeah, because that's gotten out of hand.
Whoa, time out, Matt. That sounds like judgment again.
But that's gotten out of hand, though. It's not you. Not you. Mm-hmm. But it's gotten out of hand to the point where if somebody's parlay doesn't hit, they're at the game threatening these players. Like, fantasy football is one thing. Like, I remember a dude tweeted at Reggie Bush. Right, and was he was like, how you go to a restaurant and the food don't be cold? And the dude was like, he quoted his tweet and sent it back to him. Was like, same way I had you on my fantasy team and all you gave me was -3 yards for the whole season. Some people just don't do their job.
Damn, that's crazy. I like that. That was cold.
Yeah, it was cold-blooded.
Yeah, it was very cold.
But he didn't threaten him. I've said to players before, hey, man, I had you on fantasy last year. Appreciate that. Or I had you on fantasy last year, but now, picking you up this year. We going to be all right. I've talked to players and say they get a good chuckle out of that. But now it's to the point you can't even say that type of stuff because dudes are going to get offended because it's like you threatening them, man.
I got you. But I will let Maddie know that there was a stretch where we did over under 2 runs in the 8th inning. There's a stretch where I did a couple bets on what's his name, Acuna, first pitch results. Like we got some stuff out there, dog.
Yeah, I don't do that live betting. My nephew does a lot of live betting on basketball. I don't, man. I got into that shit one time. Oh, next plate appearance going to be a single or a fly out or, oh, nah, I can't do that, man. That's too quick of a loss of money. You lose money too fast that way.
Anthony said kombucha?
Uh-oh, Bucha? Bucha? I got some Bucha right now.
He said, I think paid for fantasy has screwed up people having fun with fantasy sports. I agree with that. I agree. I've been in a paid fantasy league twice. The first time I was in it, I think I finished third, and third place had a payout of like $50. And the dude that was running the league didn't want to pay nobody the money. And I was like, for what? I'm like, dude, ain't nobody getting nothing because I didn't win. Oh, okay.
See, and
that's when you got to put your arm around a guy and you got to talk to him civilized. And you got to whisper and say, look here, if you don't give me my money, I'm gonna gut you. But you gotta understand, man. You can't play like that. The second time I was in a paid league, we didn't finish the season because that's when what's my man from Buffalo? Down the field.
Hamlin.
Yeah, Hamlin, DeMar Hamlin. When that happened, we were in a championship game, and I was sitting in the championship game against one of my coworkers. And everybody was like, well, what do we do? And I was like, he was like, you up. And all I needed was the Buffalo game. And he was like, you're up. You might as well go ahead and take this. Like, yeah, but we're not going to finish the game. They're not even going to complete this game. This game is basically no contest. Doesn't matter.
So y'all split the pot?
Yeah, he was like, you want to split it? I was like, nah, just give everybody their money back. I was like, I don't even want to do that.
Nah,
I said, because I didn't feel right taking the money.
Should have split the pot.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I've been in so many paid leagues that I mean the commissioners. I mean, Maddie's a good one to talk about. Like they manage the league and make sure everything's good. Paid leagues. Hey, we're not talking about leagues where we allow 365 teams, one for every day of the week. We're talking about paid leagues. We're not talking about leagues that allow you to play week 18. We're talking about paid leagues.
Well, if your team was put together right, I mean, you would be like,
no.
You'd be the champion.
No. I'm gonna use your term on you. When you play fantasy football in week 18, you're a Philistine.
God damn. I ain't got nothing else to say. All right, we gotta go rapid fire. We had an hour and 8. Let's go rapid fire. The Boston Celtics sold for $6.1 billion. Man, I don't really know what I can say about Boston at this present point because Boston Celtics are probably they're one of the original franchises in the NBA. And to see that they sold for only $6.1 billion, it's kind of crazy to me because I think that franchise's value more. Was that a full sale or was that a partial sale, gentlemen?
So basically, this sale or this thing came out months ago, and this was just really the league finalizing this version of the sale. I'll go back to see all the details. I mean, for a team to be sold for 6.1, I mean, I'm hoping for Boston's sake and the sake of their fan base that like it's not the whole team, because then you gotta really feel like you second class. Because when real teams get sold and the person doesn't even get full control, they get sold for 10.1. So I mean, there's a difference right there when you're the Lakers and you're the Celtics. But I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just putting that information out there that there's teams that get sold for 6.1, and there's really good teams that get sold for 10 point some odd billion. So, and that's a $4 billion gap. That ain't no chicken. You know what I'm saying? Whoa. In that $4 billion, you could have bought another team. You know what I'm saying? You could have bought the Celtics. Jack. You could have bought the Celtics, and you could have got a combo meal between buying the Celtics and another team to get to what the Lakers were sold for. And he ain't got full control. But I'm a digress.
You digress up there with your bum ass championships, your fake championships. I don't need to hear your shit. 18, baby, 18. All I gotta say, you ain't got it. We do. We'll be all right.
Hey, what does a gymnast get when they get a perfect score?
You know what they get.
And that's the same amount the Lakers got for their team.
That's all right. They robbed somebody. But billions. You start getting up in the billions, man. You out of my range.
Well,
my range.
Actually, hold on. If you take what Boston was sold for, and then you add in Portland, because they got sold for $4 billion, that gets you to what the Lakers were sold for.
But let me ask a question, and I'm being honest. I'm all jokes aside. I'm being honest.
All right, go ahead.
Boston should have been valued more than this.
So
again, is this a full sale or was this a partial sale?
I think this is controlling interest.
Okay, controlling interest is 51%.
Controlling interest, maybe a little bit more. What I read controlling interest 51%. I think it's the whole sale, man. I don't know. I mean,
we can dance with the details and update everybody on Sunday, like where we are.
Yeah, I'll do that. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Couple of comments real quick before we move to the next one. Anthony said, let me clarify what I mean pay for fantasy. I mean FanDuel and websites like that. Okay.
Hey, Anthony, if you're interested, I know some guys that on Sunday mornings, they do a league, and basically it's like a $10 per person league, and it's every week, and I think it's 10 players, and the first 10 get in, you good. And basically, I think first place and second place are the only two people that get paid, but it's weekly and it's $10. So if you want to delve in the pale moonlight, let me know, and I'll see if I can get you in contact with them.
And Anthony said, I think it's a partial stake because I think Boston is worth more than $6.1 billion. I think so because the Lakers sold. Jeannie didn't sell all of the Lakers. She sold controlling interest as well, correct?
Yeah. So basically, she sold enough where I think it's like a 60-40 split, but she's still in control. If memory serves me correctly, she's still in control for the next 2 or 3 years. Okay. And then it goes to the guy that manages the Dodgers.
Kind of like what Leon's and A. Poland did.
Yeah, kind of sort.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. J Dub said the marquee franchises in the NBA are selling. What's going on in the NBA? A lot of people getting out.
I see some numbers, KG. No2, the Grossback family bought the Celtics for $360 million. And it's saying this here is a $6 million sale, 6.1 mil. I don't see any further this. I mean, I think they're worth 10 to 12 million.
Yeah, obviously they got.
Man? Maybe they're giving out sales on basketball squads nowadays.
I mean, maybe they got y'all shopping in the bargain basement because real franchises go for more than 6.1 billion. Like I said, hey, KG,
300,000, dude.
Go to the next one, KG, and let's see what Portland was sold for.
Better go to the next
one. All right. Anthony said, Midnight Ride, I'm not able to do that. I live with my parents. I'm living off their money. I might get kicked out of the house if I do that.
Hey, you know your means. You know your means.
All right. And Portland sale, and they stay in Portland. If I'm not mistaken, I think Anthony said the Portland Trailblazers were sold to Carolina Hurricanes owner.
Yes.
And let me find out. I didn't get the numbers. Do you have the numbers for the Portland Trailblazers? Let me see if I can find it.
It was $4 billion.
No.
It was $4 billion. You did say that $4 billion.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that's why you get you can get a combo and own two teams for what it takes to own the Lakers.
Lakers suck.
I'm gonna leave this alone because I feel like I don't want to keep belaboring the point.
But I'll say this.
I'm tired of hearing about a team that suck. That ain't good as me. So, You know what I'm saying?
Portland is a small
then
market.
You can be better than me. Then you can talk about me.
Well,
motherfucker.
Be more for one of you.
Portland is a small market.
Okay.
I can see Portland selling for $4 billion, but that's a small market now. Now Boston, on the other hand, Boston is a large market team.
Yeah, but I think to be honest with you, KG, I think part of this was the owners were trying to get out to get a little more cash flush, and that's part of the reason to try to get some money into their coffers. So I think that's kind of what it was. But I mean, again, I'm not gonna go any further with that. I think the Portland sale is important because the main reason why Portland was sold is so the team could stay in Portland, which would be a travesty if someone bought the Trailblazers and tried to move them. They're one of those teams that Seattle should never be moved, and Portland should never be moved.
Agreed. I can't argue with that because you spoke volumes there. But if that's the case, cool. Matty Ice said Dundon will be a good owner. He will spend money on the roster and stuff for the team. He does trim up other payroll areas. And that's the problem that Portland's been having is getting players. I mean, yeah, you got Dame back, but you got to get players. Portland hasn't been viable on a consistent basis since that run of early 2000s and the quote-unquote Jailblazers.
Well, I think the problem for Portland and some of these teams are, and we saw that here with Washington, is you get caught in a rut where you can be okay, but you're not good or elite. And then so you ride or grind out your existence in this okay thing. And sometimes you gotta go and gut it. You know what I'm saying? You got a house, but the roof leaks. You got a house and the AC goes out. Sometimes you just gotta buy a new house and start all over. And I think that's kind of what the whole Portland plan was. And again, I'm just gonna emphasize that I think the most important thing about this was this team staying in Portland because the Allen family finally decided to sell after the death of I think it's Paul Allen.
Yes, sir.
The owner.
Yes, sir. J Dub checking in. Jack, fight back. He said, "Boston sucks, asshole." J Dub got you now. Fight back, Jack. Fight back.
That's double Lakers shots. Jack, the Lakers suck. You don't want to get with me on that. You don't want to get me on that. I might hurt your bank account, son.
And Anthony said, I hate this media double standard. They protect the Lakers for winning the bubble championship, but if Miami had won that championship, they would have said they were lucky and it was a fluke.
Fake news.
They're going to keep talking about that. They're going to keep talking about that until the cows come home, and the cows have yet to come home yet. So a championship is a championship. That when people talk about, hey, drink something. When people talk about championships and the Lakers, oh, that's a Mickey Mouse ring. They remind me of the people that I used to argue with that used to say that anything before a Super Bowl didn't count as a championship. If it's not a Super Bowl, it don't count. I said, what did they do before Super Bowls? They had NFL and AFL championships. Oh, it don't count. So football didn't start being played till 66? That's what it sounds like to me. Maddie says, and this helped Dundon bigger picture goal of baseball team in Raleigh.
And I don't see what Sam.
Question: did the owner of the Seahawks own the Trailblazers? Yeah. And let's go LA. And Sam said, "Did you see my comment, or is it like 50 comments before me? Did I miss your comment? I thought I got you."
I was trying to see it. I don't see which one we missed.
I got you here. That's
making smiley faces at you.
I believe that's
smiley faces at you.
Yeah, that's the salute.
I thought I got you. I thought I got everybody.
I mean, I'm glad he went to the salute and then instead of the other thing with the emojis, because I didn't know what those emojis meant. And I mean, they look provocative and it got the people going, but I was cool on it.
And last but not least, for the NFL, for the NBA, Pat Riley to be honored with a statue
in LA.
In LA. I think
really?
Pat Riley's gonna be the first player / coach / executive that's probably honored with a statue in 3 different cities.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Yes, very much so. The Godfather.
I agree,
and it's one of the best things that this group has done. And I still think some of this is part of the new people. Like, I know Riley's been on the other side doing his work, but you got to commend the man from going from, like, he was supposed to be a part-time coach, a co-coach, to a guy that led you to many championships, and then went somewhere else and got championships wherever he went. And it shows you the impact of Riles on basketball. I mean, even when we talk about the players in Miami, when we talk about the Miami way, talks about his impact and shows his impact.
And what's crazy
at all 3 locations he's been at too, the impact. What's Riley got? 10? Has he got 10 rings playing and coaching?
What's that? 5. He got 1 as a player, 5 as a coach.
Okay.
1 is an assistant coach, and 2 is an executive. So what's that? 3, 8, 9. He got 9.
Okay.
Oh boy,
9 total.
We counting on this Bladensburg math. Oh boy,
that's 9. I mean, I wasn't sitting here with my fingers and stuff. Come on now.
We good. We good. we still in single digits. We good.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you this.
When you got to carry that 1, that's when it get difficult.
That's when it get hard right there. That's when it get hard.
It's tricky then.
But I'll tell you this. Riley started out as a player with the Lakers. He came back as a broadcaster. Then wound up walking the sidelines under as a assistant with Paul Westhead. Then he wound up taking over and creating Showtime.
Well, remember that the beginning of that was him and him and Jerry West supposed to be co-coaches, and then Jerry was like, "Nah, you run this."
Yeah,
that is true. That is absolutely true. Now, his run in New York, he revitalized New York to make them contenders. I always say this. I said it seemed like everything worked out the wrong way in '94. Patrick Ewing wasn't 100%. If he was 100%, I think they would have beat. He was 100%, and John Starks didn't have an off night. They would have beat the Rockets.
Okay,
I'm just saying. They took him 7. That's that. Come on, man. Let's go ahead and move on because you talking nonsense. I
was gonna be sarcastic, but I decided to digress.
Let's move over to baseball real quick before we go home. Nationals DFA low. That's designated for assignment.
Right.
All right. Talk to me about it.
Basically in baseball, when you've accrued enough time or you run out of options, they have to designate you for assignment. And basically that means that you can accept the assignment to go to AAA and move down a level, or you can decide to declare and become a free agent and try to go somewhere else and sign with another team. So we don't know what Lowe's intentions were, but when you look at the numbers, it makes sense because you got 4 young guys, actually 5. You got Jacob Young, Robert Hassel, James Wood, Jacob Young, and Dylan Cruz that all deserve playing time. Oh, I'm sorry, Dalen Lyles. I think I missed him and said Cruz twice. But you got 5 guys that deserve playing time and deserve at bats. And there's no need for you to be stuck with or continue to put out a guy that isn't producing. Like, he's got the worst wins over replacement of any baseball player in the league this year, or he's like 160th out of 161. He probably has more RBIs than the past first baseman that played for the Nats, but that's not saying much. That's like saying you the best best table in the junkyard at Sanford and Son. So there's certain things that just don't make sense. But no, and I mean it's justifiable, and it's something that should have been done. It shook me at first, but when I saw the numbers, it made sense because you gotta get, and I think that's also a byproduct of the Nats not being able to move Josh Bell at the trade deadline because they had moved Bell, you wouldn't have the need to make this move with Lowe. So Lowe was a byproduct of the front office not being able to move Bell for a ham sandwich and some Doritos.
All right. I appreciate that breakdown of what designated for assignment means, because I thought I knew what it meant, but I appreciate you coming up with that because I was lost.
No, this is what we do. Like we're like I tell people all the time, the difference between us and a lot of in some podcasts and even some shows is we like to teach, you know, and because you just took us there, I want to say, you know what? I'll use your thing. I'll say happy trails to Craig Hoffman. Craig Hoffman was one of the best people on the radio in the DC area. He was one of the guys that whenever I wanted the intellectual point of view, when I wanted somebody reasonable and they weren't gonna speak in hyperbole, they were going to teach me something about the sport. And that's part of the reason why I love the Take Command podcast that he used to do with Logan Paulson. So he's taking on a role now with the Wizards and the Mystics, and in their, I don't know if it's their player development or what it is, but he's taking on a new role there. So he's leaving the radio. They're figuring out who they're going to put in his place. I personally think it's going to be Nick Ashew, but I don't want to say that out of pocket. I think Nick Ashew's the perfect replacement for him because he's more of a calm. He has a more calm demeanor and he fits what Craig Hoffman did. But also, I gotta give Craig his respect because we're gonna wrap this shit up, B. So Craig used to talk about women's sports. He talked about the WNBA. When there were issues of injustice, he was very open about the injustice piece and speaking on its behalf. I know there were a couple times I even told Craig if he wanted to come to the cookout, you could come to the cookout. So I just want to give him his flowers and wish him luck in his new endeavors at Monumental.
Mm-hmm.
I love what you said there, and you brought up a name that I hadn't heard anybody say in a long time as far as radio goes. Nick Ashew was my guy. He used to do the updates a few years ago on at that time it was ESPN 980. This is when Chris Russell was still doing updates and filling in. So Nick Ashew, I'm very familiar with. Hey, they might take Nick Ashew and give him a show. You still got Al Galdi out there. You still, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they gave Brian Weinstein his show back, but
no, Brian Weinstein already does a show on 6:30.
Oh, okay.
And he needs to stay there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he can stay there.
I got no dog in the fight because who I want to have a show, I can't have what I want, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave it alone.
Okay.
I mean, bring Tony and Andy back. Put Andy Pollard back on the Tony Kornheiser show. Give me Tony Kornheiser in the morning.
Give me a trash can with unlimited trash bags, one for each day of the week. So as that show comes on, never mind.
See, Jack, he's not a loyal little.
Never will be. I like information.
On what he's got to be loyal about.
Well, Tony Kornheiser used to give me that information, but as you say, I digress. Go ahead, Jack.
I got some information. For you gentlemen. we were just talking college football the other day a little bit. We did our top 10, and I saw the news that Kansas University, University of Kansas, whichever way it goes, just received a $300 million donation from David Booth. David Booth is he's like an investment. He's got an investment firm. Big money grip, man. He's big money grip. So Kansas is gonna take that money. That's a nice chunk to give a college that is involved in today's NIL stuff. So they're gonna put some of that money into continuing the improvements and renovations on the football stadium, and then the rest is gonna go to bringing ball players to Kansas athletics. And the second thing I got about college football, it's gonna be going on over at Lincoln Financial Field, October 30th. Philly is going to be jumping because two of Philly's finest return to Philly in this college matchup between Delaware State and Norfolk State. You got Deshaun Jackson going against Mike Vick in Norfolk State. I think that place is going to be rocking. I think the turnout's going to be amazing. You couldn't have scheduled this game anywhere better than Lincoln Financial Field. What do you guys think about that there news?
To quote the poet laureate and the Colorado football coach, Deion Sanders, it must be the money. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, I knew when Deshaun took the job and Vic got the other job, I knew that was going to be a thing in Philly.
I got no problem with that.
Since we don't do a show until Sunday, cheesesteaks Saturday. We don't have to redeem any bets. We don't have to redeem any bets.
I'm the only one that owes somebody, and that's 2 cheesesteaks. They can give you one. No.
KG owes me one.
I do.
Okay, so KG, you can tell me you paid Midnight Rider one and pay me one, and you won't have to pay nothing.
Well, he still got to eat.
I wanted to bet cheesesteaks with you on something. What was it? What was it?
I forgot what we was talking about, but it was on Tuesday when it was just me and you. That duo.
Nah, it's Clemson, LSU.
Well, yes. Clemson, LSU.
I'm still down. If you want to continue doing your homework, I'm still down.
You know what? I'll be your Huckleberry. In the words of the great Doc Holliday.
We swinging?
We will do that. Hey, right there. Hey, can we not do that? Because that belongs on another station. You know what I'm saying?
You're correct. Okay, here you go.
Y'all boys crazy, man.
That's why we do what we do, baby.
Can't nobody say my description of us is not spot on. It's a couple fellas talking sports, having fun, and cutting up a little bit. We do some cutting up, and once you get to know our show, you know what we cutting up on.
Yep. And we love bits.
Oh yeah. A couple comments before we roll up.
Y'all love bits.
Andy said, I think it's going to be Dwayne Wade before Pat, to be honest, because he's down there in Miami-Dade County, and we call it Wade County, not Rowdy County. Dwayne Wade already got his statue that don't look like him.
Yeah, it's the worst statue in the world.
Correct.
Yeah.
This statue is going in front of the Lakers Stadium, not in front of Miami.
Yeah, D Wade's statue needs birds on it. It needs birds on it.
They need to drop X-Lax around it, and the birds eat the X-Lax.
It's not good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the ride. This weekend, we got the Saturday Night WrestleManiacs on Saturday. This trio will be back. Well, let me rephrase that. The dynamic duo and myself will be back on Sunday for the Sunday Rise. Man, we getting closer and closer to football.
I mean, we could be a tremendous trio. You just gotta fill out the application. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we gotta also make
We'll
sure
get back to you.
Yeah, we gotta make sure you don't use your PTO too much. Because
shit.
I got to get back to you on that.
I'm grandfathered in.
You kind of like
Nah.
kind of like Kevin Sheehan when it comes to your PTO. You know what I'm saying?
Let me explain something
Submit
to
your
you.
paperwork, and we'll let you know.
Let me explain something to you. I done work these airwaves alone on many a night. I deserve any PTO I decide to take. I started this barbecue shit. But fellas,
we took it over.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Took it over.
See, that's one thing you're not gonna do. You're not gonna come in my trap and take over my trap. It's always gonna be my trap.
Yeah.
Wait. You quoted a coach from Colorado earlier, and I think I would like to quote that same coach. This my house. I built this house. Next question.
KG, we let you have fun, okay? We let you have fun.
Okay.
You know,
Jack.
we talked about that months ago. Months ago, man. Let KG think he the stir and all that shit.
I am the straw that stirs the drink. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, the straw. Let KG think he the straw. We agreed on that months ago. We had a vote that you didn't know about.
Hey, dog. We in so much trouble with the vote.
All right. Well, while we at it, then let's read. Anthony wants you to read some comments of his. See what he working with.
He said, I don't think the statue in front of the forum is going to be Pat Riley. It's going to be Kobe Bryant. I don't think any of them are in
Kobe's
front
already
of the forum.
there.
Kobe already has a
Kobe's
statue.
already got a statue.
And it's not the forum. It's whatever the
crypto currency arena. It's not even the Staples Center. But it's always going to be Staples in this house.
All right, I'm with you.
Anthony said that shows the odyssey of that New York Knicks franchise not giving Pat Riley the power he wanted and letting him walk in a building what he did in Miami.
Yeah, that makes sense.
J-Dub said, let's go Cowboys. Now, see, J-Dub, you was a man.
I tell you, boy.
Ain't nobody talking about them Bammers right now.
Y'all just let anybody in this group. I swear.
And Andy said, I thought that was Midnight Rider. That was a straw. No. See, Midnight.
Hey, Anthony.
No. See, Andy, you about to get. See, this is the thing. I can shut all this down. You can't see none of this. I can shut all this down. All this. I built this. Does this look like the man who was given an empire? No, I built this shit.
What you gonna have us on 24 hours?
Start playing Ray Lewis. Start playing Ray Lewis in a minute. Shit.
Oh man,
take me out of here.
Let's go home. Thank you for joining.
I gotta figure out what I'm cooking for dinner. Oh no,
man, you better figure that out quick because it's getting late, baby. You can't go to sleep on that.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Thank you for joining us, man. This is an extended version of the Thursday night throwdown. We wasn't supposed to go this long, but it's no football on. Go ahead, Jack.
Midnight Rider. Main man fights this weekend, right? What's Shorty's name we met? The Junior Olympian. He's fighting in Orlando this weekend. Big fight. Jamal Harvey. Harvey.
No, Jamal Harvey's the dude that's the Olympian. He was the Olympian.
He fights Saturday. He fights this weekend. He fights this weekend in Orlando. One of the biggest fights of his career so far. I talked with Daryl a couple nights ago. The next event coming up for PBA is October 13th. We'll get further information as it gets closer. But right now, the big thing that's on with PBA is Mr. Harvey's going to be fighting in Orlando this weekend. It's the biggest fight of his career. So I'm wishing him luck, and hopefully we can have some good reports next week.
All right.
Hey, KG, side note, just so it's on the show and it's recorded. Table skirt.
Table skirt?
Or
just get a banner.
You want to just
get a banner.
Okay. Because when you said table scrum, I'm like, what the fuck? I got you.
Yeah.
I got
You
you.
just did this. I thought you was calling for ISO like Kobe did.
No. That's ISO. That's ISO right there. That's ISO.
Well,
Come on now.
Let's
You
talk
supposed to know the plays.
show.
All right.
Sorry, Jack.
So wrong side. That's
Okay.
the Gentleman Jack. That's the Midnight Rider. I'm the big guy, KG. We done cut up long enough. We done did our overtime. We are out of here.